Hello everyone, this is going to be my final trading video because I finally got my dream inventory on Roblox, and at the end of the video I'll show you what it is. I no longer think I should trade anymore because I just love my current inventory, but let's check out some of the huge rare trades I've made in this video. Alright, so the first trade I made was this and this. So at the time this was like a 80k OP on GBTIE before Shatter dropped like 80k. Then a 240k win now on Poison. At the time I was OPing 120k and I mass set this out, and this guy is just very unintelligent. Like, he's a really bad trader, and I was able to get this from him, and this ended up being a huge win now, and I ended up trading it off for a really nice deal later on. Then I traded off this Immortal Sword and this Immortal Sword. For at the time they were like 12k low balls, which were actually really good on Immortal Sword, and now this looks amazing after the fact. Now I did this. At the time this was a 2k win on Shattered after it dropped 40k with Jiao, which is actually a really good item. Obviously now this looks better, but at the time this was also pretty solid. Then I did all this for C-Whip. At the time this was a 27k low ball for C-Whip when C-Whip was 570k and Poise was 400k. This was a huge W at the time. Obviously now it looks bad, but it was really good at the time. Then I did GBTIE for EOA 1v1. GBTIE pretty terrible, or at least it was really terrible. I don't know how it's doing now. Obviously I quit. I haven't been keeping up with trading as much. I couldn't even get like a 60k low ball on it. So when I had EOA offered, no matter what EOA gets, I just had to take it. EOA ended up getting around 10 or 20k, so it's actually not super bad. So this trade ended up being a pretty good one for me. Then I upgraded into an nth from this guy, which I have to blur his name out. And at the time this was like 2k overpay on my part with some pretty bad items obviously, and now this is a huge win. And now here we have another really good trade. This is a 5k overpay with these horrible wrap ads. 2 days later Black Crisis went from 26k value to just being wrap based, so this went from a 5k overpay to like a 1k win right away. This is just a straight up swap C-Whip for Prey. At the time this was equal. I still can't believe I got this. Another trader that I just don't understand what's going through their brain, but I don't care. I'll take the win. Then I upgraded to another nth. Obviously this looks like a bigger win now. At the time this was okay. I just kind of wanted to trade off my Shattered, to be honest. And this is my big trade, probably my favorite trade of this whole video. I traded all of this for FRC and Roman. At the time this was 130k overpay, but Shatter went down quite a bit. This is a really good trade on my part because Roman gets 60k overpays and FRC gets 80 to 100k overpays, and they're both extremely rare. Each item has, I think, one 4-trade owner, and they have really good circulation. These are two of my items that are still in my inventory now that I quit with now, and I really love both items, and I think they both look really good on avatars. These are two of my top 5 favorite rares, and I'm so happy I got them, especially in a pretty decent win of a trade like this one. Then I just did a straight swap to trade off my final Shattered. With Shattered for Hotspot, this was equal at the time, now it's a 40k win. Hotspot got a 15k OP the day I traded for it. At the time it was lowballing, and now Hotspot is actually good. So this ended up being a huge win at the time, and now even obviously a huger win now. If you look at this trade now, this looks really bad. At the time this was really good because CF was way higher, Troublemaker was way higher, and they all got good OPs. At the time this was like a 42k overpay on Prey, which was really good, and I ended up flipping all these items before they dropped, so this ended up being a W for me. Obviously if I held all this would be a huge out, but I didn't, so it's fine. Then I upgraded into Epsilon. At the time this was a 44k overpay if you include this small trade, but yeah, I gave Troublemaker, which dropped a lot, Hotspot, which died a little bit, for a really good 2 circulation rare that I was thinking about holding, but I decided to not. Then here's another trade I made that looks like an amazing trade now, but at the time it was pretty decent. This is a 38k OP at the time on Tasteful Top Hat. Obviously CF has dropped so much, this is a huge win, but at the time this was a 38k overpay. And again, Tasteful is in my final inventory, my dream inventory. I love Tasteful. I've always loved Tasteful. It's been one of my favorite rares for years now, and I'm so happy I got it and I have a chance to hype it. In one more completed trade over like 30k, Tasteful should raise at least 10 if not 20k value, so I'm really excited for what the future holds for this item with just one 4-trade owner. So for my final traded video I got this and this. So at the time and what it is now, it is a 80k overpay for Stellars. So I'm sorry, enter name, but I'm gonna be honest, Nth is not doing very good right now. It's kind of lowballing, or at least getting equal. I love Nth, but I just didn't really want to have 3 of them right now. And Epsilon is good, don't get me wrong. 2 Cirque, I think it has a ton of potential to be really good, but no one really wanted it and it was kind of dead. even though it's a really good item, I just didn't really want to hold it. I'm not a huge fan of gears. And Stellars has been one of my favorite items for, I'm not joking, like 2 years. I've always loved Stellars, and it's always been so difficult to get. But when I saw this trade available, I knew I had to take it, and I'm really happy that I did this. So at the time, this was considered a failed trade because Stellars was supposedly like lowballing. But then after I made this trade and proved it, the next day Stellars went for a 130k overpay with good demand items like BSDC and other good demand. This went from a huge failed trade to a huge win. This is now like a 40k win on Stellars, and on top of it being a win, I think Stellars is pretty close to a raise again. I think maybe 2, maybe 3 comps, and it should raise up back to 1 million as long as it stays good. And this is one of my favorite items ever on Roblox. So if you guys have followed me for a while, you know I've made a lot of trading videos in the past, and I just wanted to finish off my trading career with one more trading video. But let's show you guys my final inventory. So this is my final inventory. All these items I'm going to like be transferring. I'm not keeping these on my main. All I'm going to do is hold these, and I might get some other like small items in the future. But as of now, these are not going to be on my main account for much longer. These are going to be my long-term holds. I love Stellars, love FRC, love Tasteful, love Roman. I own servers for all 3 of these items, and Stellars are the only one that I don't own the server for. This is easily the best inventory I've ever had in my opinion, and I really like how well these items are doing, how difficult they are to get, and I just love their looks in general. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed, but that's it. Bye everyone.